Welcome to the Realizations Podcast. I'm Andrea Gordon, your host, and I'm excited to explore the world of real estate with you. In a world where perceptions often overshadow reality, Realizations seeks to redefine what it means to be a realtor. Join me as we peel back the layers of the industry, uncovering inspiring stories and celebrating the good in real estate. Whether you're a homeowner, a fellow realtor, or simply curious, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Realizations, where perceptions meet reality. Let's dive right in. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Realizations. I'm Andrea Gordon, your host, and today I'm very excited to have Darcy Elman on the show with me. Darcy is my goodness, she is so accomplished in so many different fields. She has a design background. She loves and deals with landscaping. She's a realtor. She works in San Francisco. She is even a life coach. I mean, she's like the whole package. So welcome to the show, Darcy. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And we were having a little bit of a preamble before coming on, and I wanted to just cut right to digital. What is going on with AI, digital, etc., and why is it that the human element will never be taken out of real estate?
It's actually a really great topic to untangle and consider all aspects. One of the things I think that everyone can relate to is that when you go shopping, you really want a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But I think everyone listening to this podcast will agree that real estate and your house is personal unless you're selling an investment property. And really, the it's like any asset, you don't want to get it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And real estate agents don't just give people contracts to sign, which is what a digital company does. Real estate agents create relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for, our buyers and sellers to succeed and reach their goals in real estate, they're 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 partnering with a real estate agent who has a breadth of knowledge in houses, foundations, in what's code, in all aspects of what makes a house function in terms of appliances, heating system, HVAC, um, our value in the walls, I mean, insulation. I mean, realtors know all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say we are boots on the ground, we are going into houses and handling disclosures and meeting with inspect and doing inspections for our sellers, and we're right there. So you cannot replace a AI digital company that's going to give you a contract to sign to buy a
Mm-hmm.
house. And I'm not saying that lawyers don't know a lot about contracts, but what I have found about with lawyers representing buyers and sellers is they're not underneath the house looking at foundation. They don't know what galvanized steel is.
Oh, I will tell you this. I've done dual agency 3 times in 27 years of being a realtor. And all 3 times it was because someone who had very recently graduated from law school looked at our contracts and didn't like the way they were written and started writing me like 40-page, whatevers. And I went to the sellers and we were like, look, I'm willing to, give you a little discount here if you will just let me handle this entire thing because this is not working for this person to be unrepresented.
Right.
And I think that that's going to happen more and more now with the new contract that we're having to deal with.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
one thing I did want to say is that a realtor negotiates.
Hmm.
Now, what that means, a lot of you listening right now, when you think of negotiating, you're thinking of she's going to get me the best price. And just so you know, we are going to get you the best price
Right.
if it's available. And
Right.
it's not like your realtor is going to say, yeah, I can totally get you that price because there are a lot of um, aspects of what's driving the price and the house that you're looking at. There is tariffs,
Hmm.
is war in Ukraine. There is world the movement of the world and how it affects the interest rates and how it affects any asset out there, and real estate is an asset. That's
Yeah,
number
absolutely.
one. And the other thing is that a realtor negotiates with another realtor.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I say this, realtors do business with realtors. So when you are choosing who you want to be a realtor, a digital AI system is not able to negotiate with a real live person on the other end. They
Right.
just simply are not, they just are not human to human. And I can give you many, many examples like you can, Andrea, but I will say one thing. When it comes to advising a client, you're advising a buyer or a seller on several different aspects. It's not always the price. Sometimes a
Right.
buyer really wants that house, but it's up to us as realtors to find out what the seller's goals are.
Exactly.
And I'll let you take it from here, but I just don't think a bot or an AI voice or some company that saves a seller money in commission is going to come out on the other end with with their goals met and the price that they want, because there's no one doing the negotiating.
Right. Right. Yeah, I mean, negotiation is an art. It's not just something you can, put into some sort of mathematical equation. And as you were talking about all the different variables that affect every transaction, the human element is the most unpredictable of all of them, of course. And there's a lot of sentiment that's involved whenever we're doing real estate, somebody's died, somebody's gotten married, somebody's had a kid, somebody's kid's gone to college, somebody's gotten a new job, somebody's lost a job. These are all incredible pain points. No matter how wonderful they are, they're also pain points for people. It's a lot of stress. And to have a realtor there who can handle what is really going on in the room, you have to have somebody who can read the room, who can figure out who are these people? What do they really want? How are they going to get what they want? And what are the obstacles that are either being created by them or real obstacles that are out, financial or social or whatever that are setting them up to have problems in getting what they want. And our
Right.
job in part is to get them over those obstacles. So I think it was really, I think that what you were saying was perfectly said. That no bot, no online thing can actually navigate through that successfully with empathy. I mean, maybe AI will get to the point where it does. I will tell you a funny story. I'm actually getting my PhD right now at the California Institute of Integral Studies,
Nice.
and I'm taking two classes a semester. So by the time I'm 80, I'll have my PhD. But one of the things that I had in this class, and we're very busy as realtors, so a lot of the
Very
coursework
busy.
is very, very hard for me to get to. So at 11:30 at night, one night, I thought, you know what? I'll just see if ChatGPT can write my annotated bibliography for me because I don't have time to get to this right now. So I had Chat GPT, and my subject, by the way, is women, ageism, and theater.
Wow. Very nice.
So, full disclosure, I am a theater director and playwright. I've been produced nationally. I
Nice.
have directed all over the country, and with that and $2.50, I could buy a cup of coffee, which is how I got into real estate 27 years ago. So, um, end result of all of that was I asked it to write my annotated bibliography for me. And so when it did, it came up with these incredible books that were exactly what my subject matter was, and with the little Ibsens and all of the good citations and all that good stuff. And it was like perfect. I thought, my God, this is incredible. So I started trying to look up the books that were on the annotated bibliography. None of them existed. It has
Oh,
literally made up all of them out of whole cloth. And I talked
wow.
to ChatGPT and I said, you lied to me. Why did you do this? And it said to me, I wanted to please you.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation. You know what? One of the things that I don't know, I hear a lot that I've heard from my neighbors that they think that we show houses, we write an offer, and we sit back and wait for a commission to come in.
That's because of reality TV.
That's because of reality T, but really we're negotiating with buyers lenders. We're dealing with buyers lenders. We're dealing with a title company and a title officer. We're dealing with the real estate agent on the other end. And that's three, and we're dealing with our client. So
Hmm.
we're talking for about 2 full months with four people that are literally like a cog in the wheel, making that deal move forward so that we can get to the close. And any one of those cogs, if there's a problem, can stop a deal. Now, the minute you go into contract, as most of you know that's listening, since you've bought houses probably, and if you haven't, once you ratify, there's the clock starts ticking, and it really is the real estate agent to keep things moving forward.
Hmm.
And it's really our job to communicate and be a trusted advisor in a situation where there's multiple offers, to really level and be really clear about the layout of how much competition of other buyers is trying to get the house you love. And there
Right.
isn't any AI company or even a Redfin agent that's not really boots on ground. Sorry about that, but it's true.
Hmm.
Um, that can, win a deal in a situation where there's five people trying to get the house that you love. And, and it is going to take, there's got a lot of things it's going to take. It may take that you have to come up in money. It may take that your lender can close in 20 days or even 15 days or 12 days. That'll put you ahead of the pack. And that's one of the things in terms of negotiating all aspects of a transaction that is a real estate agent's job, and a good real estate agent absolutely knows it and is going to be watching that timeline and communicating every step of the way with all four people. You and I, as whoever the client is and myself, we're going to be discussing this. It's a collaboration, but in
All
the
of
end,
it's, yeah, all of it's a
all
collaboration.
of it's a collaboration. None of A good realtor is not going to tell any buyer or seller what they should or shouldn't do, because in the end of the day, it's our client's call as to what they're comfortable with,
Hmm.
what they can do, and in the end, how they're going to feel if they don't get the house they love.
Right. I
Or
mean,
if or if it's a seller and they're pleasantly surprised all these offers are coming in, but or they just aren't quite getting what they thought they were going to get for their house. And it's our job to help you understand this is where we are right now.
right, right. And to my last podcast, in the middle of my podcast, I heard back from an agent about an offer I had put in this morning for a buyer. We didn't get it. It was a very competitive situation. My client was second to the last
Uh,
in a six offer bid, and I knew that was going to happen, honestly. And I thought it was good for her because she hadn't ever written an offer before, to learn how to write an offer, to understand what it feels like to go through that whole process, what have you. I also, after this podcast, I have the onerous task of going to a couple of sellers who have a beautiful house that they unfortunately bought at the very height of the market in 2021.
hmm.
And we took offers today and we didn't get any
Oh, in
because
Bay?
I'm trying, yeah, in Berkeley, and I'm trying to get them out of this house clean. I mean, ideally for at least what they bought it for. And people didn't bite. And it's really unfortunate because the place was beautiful. We did an incredible job with it. I went on every site and saw that we'd been looked at, 150 million times. And we had huge open houses,
Hmm.
47 packets out.
Wow. And no, that's
Not one offer.
amazing.
Yeah. So I get to go back to them and tell them that there is not a bot on the planet or an AI on the planet who is not going to just be able to actually have this conversation with these folks, which will be awful. I'm really not looking forward to it, but it's part of what you have to do every once in a while. Life is not always roses, you know?
Well, and that really brings me, Andrea, to another aspect of being a trusted advisor and how much care we bring to a moment. You know, some people have asked me, why do you think you have so much repeat business?
Hmm.
And I don't say because I blah blah and I am blah blah and I'm great.
Hmm.
What I just say, and this is true in my deepest of deepest heart, is that I really care.
Hmm.
I really care. I care that that people are comfortable as we go through a transaction. I care that they feel like they're in control. I care that I'm communicating in a way that works for them.
Hmm.
Timing, how often, everyone is different. I care
Hmm.
that their goals, if they're not realistic, I care that they know what to expect when we go out there and look for a house, or if they're a seller, I want to honor their goals, but we can only do what we can do. And when you show a seller a comp and it does not say the price that buyers are paying for this square footage, and your beautiful house is beautiful, but this is what buyers are paying for, we can't change that. But we can care that you want that amount, but we have to honor that this is the way the world is going now.
Right, you have to be truthful with people.
You have to be straightforward.
And you know, and I know that the people that I'm going to talk to later tonight, I know they're fully aware that we were really trying. And so it'll be back to the drawing board a little bit, trying to figure out, okay, what's the next step in the midst of all of this?
Yeah.
Um, you know, it's interesting. Like 3 days ago, I went to a listing appointment at a house in Rockridge, and
Mhm.
this house is it's so cool. It's super, super duper cool. But the guy, it's painted every color in the rainbow. The banisters were painted in gold paint.
Okay.
You walked up the steps, and each step is numbered with really beautiful numbers, like 1, 2, 3. So I knew exactly how many steps to the front door. And you got inside, and all of the walls were murals. This person's mom was an artist. I totally dug it because I'm an artist myself, so I was like enthralled by
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
But it was a small house, needed everything. And this person was absolutely convinced that just because the house was in Rockridge, it was worth $3 million. So
Mm.
I'm pretty sure I won't get the listing because I was very truthful about what the actual value on a two-bedroom that you have to walk 26 steps up to the front door, that doesn't have a garage, in the even in the area, that the house is verging on being a tear down, but somebody will remodel it, and because it does have really nice stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
nice little alcoves and gigas and built-ins and things like that.
Nice.
But we had this very far-reaching conversation, as it turned out, about the economy and why it was that you had to sort of be based in reality on per square foot cost and value and what have you. Um, and it was an interesting thing for me because this person had read every media, you know, every time an article had shown up about the values in Oakland or the crime in Oakland or the this, that, or the other thing, he had taken it into account, and he had a full-on spreadsheet in front of him about justifying why he thought his house was worth $3 million. So I was very, I'm telling you this very long-winded story here, but that's the other thing. As a realtor, you have to learn to protect yourself in certain situations.
Right.
I am not sure that unless something really radical happened, I probably would not take that listing.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
matter how much of an advocate I am for the people that I deal with,
yeah.
because when somebody's that far away from reality, you can't bring them to reality.
Right,
And
right.
if AI takes over for all of our business at some point in time, can you imagine how wackadoo it's going to get out there with people reading things that are generated by AI that wants to please you? You know?
Yeah, exactly. That's a great, like, That's a great tie up to your story of
Yeah.
AI.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it brings me to um it brings me back to having this conversation about what we do when we sell a house.
Hmm.
And I just thought I would just kind of roll out a few things that um, most people who are sellers who have been in the house for a long time and you're inviting, one of us over or both of us, you love our podcast. You're like, I'm going to get Darcy and Andrea to sell this together, whatever. One week walk into your house, one of the most beautiful moments of meeting a new seller is listening to what they love, what you love about your house, what
Hmm.
great memories you've had,
Hmm.
and understanding why that house has been so special to you. Because
Hmm.
those are all part of the story that we
Hmm.
use when people are walking in to make people feel comfortable. When they're asking questions, we bring up your love of the house is what motivates us to speak to new buyers. And then there's another layer that I think people don't understand, and that is understanding trends of a neighborhood, trends of a demographic, and and where the design of that house can go so it shines and it's seen in its best light.
Hmm.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because just like fashion changes, and just design trends change as well. And I think that from the people listening to this, and if you're older and you've been in your house a long time, buyers are very smart these days.
Hmm.
I say
Extremely
that to,
sophisticated.
they're sophisticated. I say it to my sellers all the time when they invite me over. And, so a really quick fix that all of us say in the real estate industry is if you change the hardware and you paint these cabinets, it can really up. But I will tell you, when buyers walk in, that it goes in thresholds, right? There's the 1,000,005 house, there's the 2 million to like 3,000,005, then it goes up.
Hmm.
But when buyers walk in, they know they've already been conditioned to what trends they're looking at because they're looking at on their phone beautiful houses that are staged, and they're also looking at high end houses that are out of their price point.
Hmm.
And when they walk into a house that has a 60s, 70s look, and and you're living in a house that you love and you don't mind, it is a moment as a realtor to say we need to bring things up to at least a place where it's neutral and someone can see themselves living here,
Right.
and it's going to elevate their lifestyle.
Hmm.
The reason why people put more money down on that on the table, and they're, yes, I'm going to do my best to get your house if you're listening to this, is because they're walking in and going, well, I mean, I get to live this way. What the heck? This
Yeah,
is
you're
great.
selling, that's a lifestyle, and
You're
you're selling an
selling.
image of how somebody wants to be.
Exactly. And it's up to us to bring in stagers that are going to, really show your house in the best light. And also someone who knows trends. Because if a neighborhood is trending young in terms of millennials and everyone 35 and under, well, we're going to bring in a stager that's going to appeal to that demographic.
Right. Exactly.
Those
Exactly.
are the type of things that, you may not know, but a good realtor is absolutely going to know that neighborhood. And they're really going to know, like, hey, this neighborhood is like, it's trending, blah, blah, blah. And this needs to be like, curtains need to be off the windows. The people just want to see out. You have beautiful views. I mean, your realtor is going to drive the design, which is going to drive the marketing, which is going to bring people to your house and be willing to put the most money down. And I just think that's something an AI and any bot will never be able to handle.
I agree with you up to a point because
Mhm.
I have gone on some of, I'm on the board of directors of the multiple listing service, and we get rollouts of different tech things all the time. They're constantly trying to sell us stuff. So some of these virtual staging, virtual remodeling, virtual whatever, and it's all AI driven,
Right.
are phenomenal.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And they're like games. You can move the hedge over here and you
Well, that'll bring
can.
people in. It's just a matter of what it feels like when people walk through your house.
And that's a whole other thing. It's so funny when people are moving out of a house, they get caught up in their emotions and their memories and their this and their that. And as realtors, it's part of our job to strip all that away so that somebody else can come in and create new memories inside that house. I got my own house in part because the gentleman who used to live here, his wife had passed away, and he was sitting at the open house. I don't know why the realtor didn't shoo him out, but he was sitting at the open house and saying things like, "Oh, she used to sit over there and crochet." Oh, and I could see people like leaving.
Well, thank you. She's still here in your mind. That's a little creepy.
Yeah, exactly. It was a funny sort of a moment in time, and I took advantage of it and I got my house. And that was back in 2004. And it's been a great place for us to be, but I also know that every house is idiosyncratic by the time people have lived in it that long. Every house needs refreshing. If you go on my website, I have two listing coordinators who that's all they do. They go through and figure out what deficits need to be addressed in a house, and we figure out what it's going to cost. And then we utilize some of the tools that Compass has, like the notable concierge loan, to get the work done. If somebody doesn't have ready cash in hand to do that, our company, yours and mine, makes it possible for people to upgrade when they don't really have the money. A lot of the time when people are staying in their house and living there while the house is on the market, it is simply because they don't have the financial capability to get out. Now, I know in San Francisco, with multi-million dollar listings, that is not the case. Someone can go live on their yacht or something, but
But we still have to deal with that. I'm selling a condo now in Hayes Valley, and my client lives there. And his all his suits are in the closet, and I said, "Could you
yep,
move a few of these out?" And he's got a really big job. It was like,
yeah,
"No, I can't." I'm like,
right.
"Okay, we're gonna sell it."
Right. And sometimes you do end up with those listings. I have a couple of very high-end listings in the hills right now where the people didn't want to move out
Mhm.
because they didn't want to. It doesn't have to do with my advice. They're not taking in my advice in that case. And then I had to make the decision, am I going to list this house with them living there or not? And I chose to.
Yeah.
But it will affect their eventual sale price because things that don't look absolutely fresh, beautiful, brand new on the market are not selling in the same way that things that are totally renovated, upgraded, painted at least, do. So, they're making that decision for themselves, and if that's what they want to do, it's their house and it's their money. It's not mine,
Yes,
at the end of the
absolutely.
day.
At the end of the
So,
day, exactly.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you are a fabulous guest. I have enjoyed this conversation so profoundly. You are very good at public speaking, obviously. And if somebody wants to come across you and utilize your services, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so my real estate name is Darcy Elman Real Estate, and it's darcyelmanrealestate.com if you want to look at my website. It's Darcy period Elman at compass.com. And absolutely, if you don't know what to do and you would like some coaching on selling your house, it's Legacy Lifestyle and Coaching. And
You're,
my phone number is 415-246-6516.
thank you for taking the time with me today, Darcy, and I would welcome you back anytime. What a great conversation.
Fabulous. And I wish everyone out there a go easy, and know that your real estate agent should be really fully there for you. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Take care. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Realizations Podcast. I hope our conversation has shed light on the true essence of real estate and the people behind it. As we wrap up, I want to extend my gratitude to our listeners for their support and engagement. Your feedback drives the heart of this podcast, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to the Realizations podcast and leaving a review. Your support helps us reach more listeners and spread our message of positivity in the real estate industry. Until next time, remember to keep an open mind, embrace empathy, and always seek the good in every situation. I'm Andrea Gordon, signing off from Realizations. See you next time.